Alright, look at that. That's all that's in there so far from the original fuel tank, and it's got about 3 hours of run time on it. So that's good. We'll see what happens once it actually gets on the road and starts sloshing everything around. But that's not what we're working on today. Today we're doing the floor, we're painting the floor, and reinstalling the seats. So let's get to it. This is what we're working with today. This area. We're going to come in here with a measuring tape and measure this out. Starting right about here, this way, and right at the edge here, this way. And then in this area, I'm not sure, I'm going to get the measuring tape out like I said. And over there, I know you can't hardly see that. Over there, let's see. That's really bad. So all the way up to here, all the way over there. I'm gonna get the measuring tape out and get some good measurements to make a couple of good squares. Now, with the intentions of doing this on a budget, this is what we had to repair the floor. We got our 10-inch wide. This is, I believe, 18 gauge steel here. This is a I think that piece there is maybe 20 inches. Different widths from small to big. And we're going to use these to patch in the floor. That's all I got these. This is recycled metal. Nothing special, straight out of scrapyard. And we're going to start cleaning up spots, cutting holes, and welding it in as we go. By no means is this the proper way to fix it, but the floor patches for this thing are expensive. I'm not even gonna lie, they're just too expensive. So this is what we're gonna do for now. Let me get my tape and we'll start measuring and cutting. So this is the floor cutout. It's not perfectly square. What I'm going to do is take the piece that I cut out here and trace it out on some of the new metal on the front of the car and weld the new piece down in there. I went plenty far enough forward and to the side to get out of the bad metal, and then I'll have to weld another little strip in right here on the edge of this cross member. The one lucky thing is I didn't pay attention to that e-brake cable. Luckily, I didn't nick it. I almost did, but I didn't. But we'll go ahead and cut out the new piece. We'll trace it, cut out the new piece, and possibly tack weld it in, and then we'll go over there and do the same on that side. This is your plate in place. I bent this corner up to match the curve right here. Once this is fully seated, tack welded over here, I will, I don't know, persuade this curved section in. I'll tack it here, beat it down a little bit, tack it, beat it down, and hopefully that curve fits right into where it needs to be. The cut, if I push it down, the cut lines up perfect. So we'll start over here and work our way around to have that lay down into the valley a little bit. Alright, so we did get the corner laid down in there pretty good. This metal is still fairly thin all the way around the outside. I'm having to individually tack weld it to it all the way around, little bits at a time. I probably got 3 hours into just welding at this point. That little turn up there ended up fitting in just right, and we got to patch that little spot there. But I'm gonna have to speed things up a little bit. I'll probably I'm gonna run across the front. There's a little indent in the floor right there. I'm gonna have to beat that down, tack weld all that in, and I'm gonna have to speed stuff up. I'm gonna have to go over there, cut that side out, go ahead and get that side made because I'm running out of time today. So I'll go ahead and catch you up where I can. But you get the idea. Nothing special here, cutting and laying floors in and trying to get it a little bit more sturdy, trying to patch up some of these exhaust holes, essentially is what I'm worried about, is exhaust fumes floating up. Once I grind these welds down and I lay a little bit of seam sealer on it, it'll look all right. I'm not saying this is correct at all, but I'll hide it with seam sealer regardless. Alright, well, hopefully the shop lights aren't messing with this video, but it's late now. We've got that patch in. I gotta finish the welding on the front. I've actually got the patch in the front too. And I've got some welding on this one still, but once the welding's done, seam seal, and then I'm gonna pour 15 this floor, and we're going to reinstall the seats. So I'll probably get back with you guys after I'm done pour 15ing this thing, and right before we try to install the seats. The seats are going to be a little tricky because they are in not the best shape. There's Kristen. So these seats are going to be tricky. I don't really want to lay this back up in there looking this way with how bad this is. I'm thinking about wrapping this in a sheet and kind of tucking it in behind it to try and make it look decent. Probably this one, and also covering this seat up. I'm thinking just a white sheet, cover it up, install it with the black floor, and it'll serve its purpose for now. I'd love to get them redone, but A, that's going to cost too much, and we just don't have time. So, I'll catch back up with you guys once I get this floor done. Floor looks way better, doesn't it, everybody? We have our 2 patch panels in here. I put a generous amount of seam sealer on there, mainly because I was trying to cover up my terrible welds. But that side, this side, and this patch up here on the driver's side floorboard is all part of that. But what we're going to do is let this dry and then reinstall the seats for now. I'm not going to put carpet down yet till I figure out what I'm going to do for carpet, but I want to be able to drive it until then. So this getting dried off will be fine. This is a Pour 15 rust inhibitor stuff, so it's really great coverage stuff. I think this will turn out really nice. Once it's dried and we put the seats and everything back in there, it'll look good. Alright guys, we have the seats in, and then we just essentially drape them in these blue sheets. We're going to cut holes for the seat belts, and it looks terrible right now, but we're going to be able to add a little bit of elastic, and stretch this stuff all out, and it'll lay nice and smooth. And compared to what it was, at least this won't make you sick to your stomach to sit on. This is all going to be tucked up and in place. And as far as the floor goes, it looks much better all the way across. I did, when I was waiting for the paint to dry, add in an ignition switch. The electrics on this car is completely screwed up. So, like I showed in the Will It Run episode, I did add a hot wire to the coil, and that's what I'm going to use that for, is to kill, basically to, you know, stop the car. But I don't mind how it turned out. For, you know, the price of practically free cleaning, taking it out, and then just welding in some sheet steel and some paint, I'm happy. I don't have pretty much a dime in this, and an old set of sheets, and it looks way, way better. And once these are, like I said, once these are tightened up, and you got your nice clean headliner, and we armor all everything, it'll look a lot better. Okay, it's super hot out here in the garage. We have another video next week, I guess, is going to be the brakes, and then getting tags and stuff on this, and we're going to take it for the first drive. Hopefully next week. I'm not 100% sure on that. Things have gotten a little bit weird at the courthouse, and it's kind of hard to get tags sometimes. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. But I appreciate you watching, and see you next time.